Looking forward to it. It's going to be tough, but I think they should win.
Your thoughts on this, Parker? How we feeling overall?
No, that's the best. I mean, well, a little tired because we
Hold
had a
on,
full
Parker.
day of.
They're saying no sound.
Uh, there,
Uh-oh.
there should be. I mean, it's full open on our thing.
Let's
Okay.
see.
Everybody is saying no sound.
No sound. Getting a
No
lot
sound.
of
No sound. No sound. Hello, we
hello.
can't hear you. No
Emojis,
sound. Hello.
emojis.
Maybe they're behind. Sherry sounds about right. Hello,
Oh,
hello.
There we go.
Okay,
Okay,
we're
there we
back.
go.
Hey,
think
we're
they're
Now,
back.
just-
Parker.
All
There
right,
we
so
go.
now, Parker, how are we feeling overall?
Here we go.
The Dodgers are in the playoffs. It is going to be tough. It is going to be tough. But how am I feeling? Yeah, a little tired. We had a full day of Lakers media day, but we're back and we're excited that the Dodgers are here. The Wildcard series is here. It's just there's no better time than October baseball. I mean, Marcus, you were just talking October baseball. There's no better
October
time.
baseball, yes.
Unfortunately, it kind of trickles into November. We could talk about that later. But Dodgers, Reds, it's going to be a great series. There's going to be a great pitching duels. So let's hope that the offense can show out and really do their thing because that's all that matters. I think that Snell, Yamamoto, and possibly Otani, if they have to, will definitely do their part. So it's all about the offense at this point.
It's about the offense, and of course, as we've talked for months now, it's going to be about the bullpen. So we'll dive into that and plenty more. But first, as always, a shout out to LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, transforming the travel experience. They are saving guests time. The People Mover train, hopefully up and running by early next year. In fact, seeing like billboards and promotions for it. So that is a good sign. But if you want more information, you can go to flylax.com/transforminglax. All right, so. Blake Snell gets the ball in game one. As you mentioned, Yamamoto in game two. Greg, any worries that, things could go bad and you lose two games and arguably your best pitcher in Shohei Ohtani never touches the mound?
What are we doing here this morning, Marcus? We're going directly to the negative. Who are you, me? When did you turn into me?
Just like, I mean, what is it? Like, we know Blake Snell's good. We know Yama's good. Like,
yeah.
So
look, look, if we don't see Shohei in the playoffs, I'm not going to be horribly disappointed. You're throwing Blake Snell, you're throwing Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and I do think that if there's an opportunity where if they're down, if they're down game one, they lose game one, let's say, and in game two they're either like up by one or it's tied or whatever it happens to be, and you need Shohei to pitch in the back end of the bullpen to get a win. I think that's actually kind of more of it's an opportunity because if you can't lose that game or you're done. So if you burn him there, I think that is more of a possibility than we can think of, but. I'm not really worried about Shohei the pitcher, even though he does have the best stuff out of everybody. I just want to win games, and so by any means necessary, just don't lose them. If he doesn't pitch, he doesn't pitch. I just win the games.
I mean, I guess, Parker, that is the beauty of the Dodgers having so many starting arms, at least. Again, we can talk about the bullpen later, but I guess having so many starting arms, especially in a short series, means there are a lot of places to go. I guess because we didn't even mention Glass now. We didn't mention Emmett Sheehan. I guess there are a lot of options for this team, and so for Dave Roberts, it seems like he had a good decision, but a tough decision to make.
Yeah, good decision, tough decision. But if you're oh shoot, I got to put in a starter. Is Tyler Glasnow? Hello, yeah, I'll take that any day of the week because he in any other team is the ace. So that's just a blessing that the Dodgers have and not many teams do. So they put themselves in a good position with starting pitching, as the chat is saying. We got our starting pitching, we got our bats, we should be good. So the crowd just pull out to the Dodgers like Greg there and root for the team because at this point it's just get the job done. You got to get to the DS. And then, we can see Kershaw work his magic in the playoffs. But got to get to the DS first, guys.
Got to get to the DS first. Yeah, so that's the thing. We talked about this yesterday with Jeff Spiegel. No Clayton Kershaw on the wild card roster. To me, it wasn't really a surprise. But, yeah, I think that's not that they need added motivation. But at least for the fans, the motivation to get to the DS is just to let Kershaw be on the roster one more time. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that would be unfortunate if the last we saw of him was walking off the mound at Seattle.
Right.
Great ending, but not the ending I think folks would want for a guy like Clayton Kershaw. One guy that we do expect to see in the Wildcard series is Roki Sasaki. He has made it to the Wildcard roster after a couple of really good outings at the end of the regular season. In terms of usage, Greg, are we expecting high leverage usage? Are we expecting maybe he gets a 9th inning in there? Is that too much at this point?
I think it's too much. It really just depends. I think there's a good possibility that the wild card is going to be very much the piggyback plan. I don't know if they want to even mess around with it if they don't have to. Roki looked good in his 2 innings, but like it's 2 innings. When we saw him earlier in the year, he was walking everybody and his velocity dropped. And Travis says it all the time, when the last moment that you saw of him in the big league before he came back up and through those innings was him crying in the dugout. I mean, so who do we know which guy he is right now? I have faith that he's doing, because he did look so good in those 2, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself that 2 innings is going to turn into a closer role in the playoffs when the stakes are even higher and higher than what they were before. He was coming in the 6th inning, the 7th inning. Don't do it. It was just
it almost didn't even register. I'm
wow,
picking up my game.
Look at that. That's when he's coming in. It's on lower leverage spots, but I'm not expecting him in some massively, 1-run game, top of the 9th. Since it's all in LA, top of the 9th with a 1-run lead. I don't expect him there.
So then that begs the question, Parker, if it is a 1-run lead in the top of the 9th inning, who gets the ball? Are we still holding our breath with that Tanner Scott figures it out? Are we hoping that Blake Trinan figures it out? I mean, where do they go to get those last 3 outs?
Vesia. I mean, I think that's probably the top of their trust 3 at the moment. But yeah, I mean, that would worry me. I just hope that we maybe don't get in that position. That scenario just doesn't happen. But of course, it's baseball, so things like that are bound to happen. If you do get in that scenario, I mean, Vesia and Trinan.
The sigh said it all, actually.
I mean, do I need to say more? Vesia, Trinan, I guess, are the ones who I think they would maybe go to first in terms of that scenario. But Trinan is just not
no Trinan.
Yeah, he just has
no interest in Trinan.
But the unwavering faith of Doc's veteran is why I'm kind of going that route in that direction. Scott would be somewhat of a 7th inning guy, setup guy. I think that they've solidified him in that spot just based off of performance.
Side note here, I'm scrolling trying to find like an actual written out playoff roster for the Dodgers, and USA Today in their story about Kershaw being left off the NL or the NL wildcard roster, they have a photo gallery. They put those photo galleries of like certain players or events or whatever. The gallery is 14 most devastating Clayton Kershaw MLB postseason photos.
Man, get out of here with that.
Like, what? What are we doing?
Please.
What are we doing? Like, this man has so many great moments, and you decide to pick the 14 lowest moments of his professional career. Like,
read the room, USA Today.
What is happening, USA Today?
Guy's a Giant fan.
Yeah, congratulations on your retirement. Remember when you...
Hey, here's Matt Adams to hand you a retirement gift.
We don't need to bring up Matt Adams today. It's a positive day.
It is a positive day.
Good
it is a positive day. So we will go back to the good things. But potentially a good thing. Will Smith was able to face live pitching over the weekend, and they are hoping that he will be available. Jeff Spiegel suggested yesterday that they could carry 3 catchers, that we could see Smith there along with Dalton Rushing and Ben Rortvet. Greg, do you think we see Will Smith in any serious way outside of maybe a potential pinch hit appearance in the next couple days?
I don't, but I mean, it would be amazing if we do, and he's at the level that he can be at. I don't want him to look, bad, and like if he's going to hurt the team, you don't want him out there. But if you just look at who the 14 position players are going to be, because you don't need 13 of them in this one, there's really no issue with not carrying Will Smith and 3 catchers. And so because there just isn't enough guys to even be like, oh yeah, he deserves a spot. Alex Call might be the only one, or if you want to carry like an Estuary Ruiz for their speed, but that's why you have Kim. And I don't know. It seems that he is bound for the roster if he's actually facing live hitting, but I don't think he catches unless he absolutely has to. I think Rortvedt is going to be that guy.
Pinch hit situations for sure.
Yeah, I think that's sort of what it is. I mean, Parker, I think we got to feel good with Rortvedt considering what he gave them at the end of the season. I don't think anybody thinks he is a 1-to-1 replacement for Will Smith, but I felt like he gave them, enough at the plate and a lot behind the plate that, I feel confident in Ben Rortvedt seeing him out there in the playoffs.
Yeah, unless you're Spigs. we'll have you on soon and we'll talk about it. But yeah, Greg, I feel like Rortvedt, yes, he's been serviceable and that's just what you need. The point that the Dodgers need to make is just not to be in late game situations where it's close. And honestly, Rortvedt doesn't really play a part in either one of those. He can really only help positively unless he's hitting into ground ball double plays. And he hasn't been doing that all that often. It's been interesting outs like bunts and just pop-ups. So at that point, it's like, okay, you got the defense and that's what matters.
So the thing with Rortvedt real fast is I do kind of think about what he's actually doing with the starters. He's great. Obviously the starters come out and they pitch amazing. And that's a lot of that. You have amazing starters. I don't know how he calls games when it comes to the bullpen because the bullpen has been terrible, but they've been terrible for a while.
I can say they were terrible regardless of who the catcher was.
Sure. Totally agree with that, but he's not called a great game looking like that. When you have guys like Yamamoto, Snell, Glasnow, Shohei, Sheehan, Kershaw, you have guys that can call their own pitches and can pitch to know their spots. It doesn't seem to be that way with the bullpen. And yes, granted, none of the three catchers actually have called good games, but I mean, I think that's the only thing to react to Spiegel just a little bit that he might be worrying about.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's certainly something to be said for that. But again, I think so far what we've seen of him, he's better at blocking the ball behind the plate than what we've seen from Dalton Rushing. He obviously doesn't have Rushing's power, but in terms of just putting the ball in play, getting on base, I think he's been as good as Dalton Rushing so far this season. So, I'm okay with it. Obviously, we would all love for it to be a healthy Will Smith back there, calling pitches, catching the game, and getting 3 to 4 at bats a night. But unfortunately, that is not going to be the case. So, turning to the matchup for tonight, we know Blake Snell going on one side for the Dodgers. He has been fantastic. On the other side, it is Hunter Green. He from Sherman Oaks, from Notre Dame High School, and making what would be his 6th career start against the Dodgers over the span of his career. The Dodgers. He's been okay. I know this year the Dodgers actually got to him a little bit. One thing we know, Greg, he's going to be a high strikeout guy. There's going to be a lot of swing and miss because that is just what Hunter Green does.
Right.
But the way this offense performed in the last month of the season or so, you got to feel kind of confident that they can figure out a way to get to him.
Yeah, I do feel confident they can get to him. They've been showing that they can get to any pitcher. And Hunter Green, it's just the way that they've been getting to him too, and the typical Dodger way of getting to starting pitchers is being patient and taking walks and then just jumping on pitches that are in the zone and making them pay for it. Hunter Green has a lot of power. So if you do get a pitch, he's going to provide a lot of the power. And that if you put that power up against Shohei and Mookie and Freddie and Teo and Andy Pages, they're going to get him. So I feel good about him. Hunter Green doesn't walk guys very often. He has 26 walks on the season opposed to 132 strikeouts and not that many innings. So about just a little over 100 innings. He does not walk a lot of guys, so that doesn't seem like it will come into play into this. But I could see Andy Pages, who is 3 for 5 with 3 home runs against him. Great. Let's see what he can do against him. I do feel good about the matchup because its power isn't something that the Dodgers shy away from, and I think that it could very well lead right into them having a good game.
You mentioned Andy Pages has 3 home runs against Hunter Green, which is wild. It's wild because that's
5 attempts,
but also the fact that Green has given up 7 home runs period against the Dodgers in 5 previous starts. So about half of them have been to Andy Paez. That's sort of phenomenal. But 1-3 with a 4.55 ERA.
They're probably
Against the
mostly at
Dodgers.
home too.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Fairly certain that at least
Paez is
at
not,
home.
Paez does not work from home, or he works from home. He's not really a remote sort of work guy.
Right. Yeah. He's very much a WFH.
He's a WFH guy, it's just sort of the way he operates. So that's sort of an interesting thing there. Parker, this is not a great Reds offense. I mean, Ellie De La Cruz was not great in the second half. I mean, we talked about this on Monday. Gavin Lux was arguably their best offensive player over the course of the entire season. I'm trying not to be too pessimistic about this, right? Does that worry you at all? Because, we've seen this happen before, right? Where teams come in not hitting well and somehow they figure it out when the lights come on at Dodger Stadium.
I mean, I guess the worry level is just there regardless, because once you hit the playoffs, I mean, everything your heart starts pumping a little more. But I think with Snell, it's interesting because he hasn't seen the Reds, and really he hasn't even seen the Reds in his career much at all. I think he's like 2-0 against them all time, which is, he obviously didn't see them early in his career. So it will be interesting, but I think that's what Snell wanted when coming to LA. I know he had kind of had to wait to get his start early in the season, but he wanted to be the ace on a team with aces. He's just that kind of guy. And I saw in the chat, maybe it was Enrique, somebody was saying like the first mistake Dodgers made was putting Snell over Yamamoto. Honestly, it's A-B. I think they're interchangeable, and you're going to get a good lefty performance out of either of them. And I think that's what's needing to happen against the Reds. The Reds don't hit very well against lefties. So you got the two best lefties, one of the two best lefties in the game. So I'm confident. The worry level is there, but yes, I'm confident.
I think that was the thought process for Dave Roberts. It's just the Reds don't hit left-handed pitching particularly well. So let's throw our best lefty at him and try to get game one, because getting game one is going to be massively important for both sides. But because you get that first game, obviously you have 2 chances to win one. If you're the Dodgers, you hope you can just knock this out in 2 and be done with it. But if you are the Dodgers and you throw Snell and things go sideways, you at least feel like you can rebound, even if you don't have to. I think it's kind of the way to look at this thing. But I understand the Snell over Yamamoto thing. I don't know, Greg. I think it would have been fine if they went the other way too, though, right? If it was Yamamoto over Snell, it feels like a quibble at this point.
Look, man, the Dodgers are in the best position in baseball to get through the wild card series and then be in great position when it comes to the division series. Obviously, you have to get through the wild card series, but if they do, they can just throw out more number one starters. It really doesn't matter. And you could have gone Snell, Yamamoto, Ohtani in any order that you wanted. Flip them in any order that you want, and you're totally fine. And by the way, no matter what, whoever pitches on Saturday in game one wouldn't have to pitch till the game's not till Monday. So whoever your game one starter is in the wild card series is your game 2 starter in the wild card. They're very much set up, and I don't care who it happens to be. Blake Snell, by the way, is a guy that is a second half guy. Like I'm looking at his career numbers here. It's amazing. He in the first half of the season, has almost a 4 ERA. In the second half, he's a 2.3 ERA. Everything just drops. Every number goes up with his strikeouts per 9, strikeouts per walk. All those things go way. His whip drops dramatically. Everything goes down, and we are in the second half of the season. This is when Blake Snell is at his best. And he hasn't pitched and especially when you didn't pitch most of the season.
And thank you for the chat for reminding me that it was versus the Reds last year that Snell threw a no-hitter. So that's just another ripple to this whole scenario that he is probably a little more confident than most going into this.
Which is, hey man, that's everything is coming up Millhouse if you're the Dodgers right now. So we'll see how this goes. All right. So before we get out of here, then obviously it is a best of 3 series. Your thoughts, Greg? The Dodgers win. How many games do they win it in? And I don't know, any superlatives for the series? Any guys you think really pop this the next couple of days?
So I'm gonna be the homer. I'm gonna take the homer pick. I do think they win both games, the first two games. They win in two. I don't think we see Shohei. I think that it's the guys that really. I think all the guys that are meant to pitch well or play well are all going to do that. I think Andy Pajes has a really big series in this. He hits the Reds well, so I can see Pajes playing very well. But just one last thing before you get to Parker's prediction is Blake Snell is a guy that he is wildly effective, is the way that they say on the broadcast all the time. So the Reds are probably going to be thinking about it. Hey, if just be patient with Blake Snell and let him walk you, and that's the only thing that I could see being an issue is if they're not swinging at his pitches that are landing off the plate, then that's when he'd be in trouble.
Okay. All right, Sparky, your prediction for the next couple of days.
Well, I'm also going 2-0. Yeah, I think the Dodgers take it in 2, and I'm gonna say that it's a massive Mookie series.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's
Yeah.
in that mindset of, hey, listen, I mean, I've been a lot better the last few months, but overall my season was not what I wanted it to be. So I'm turning things around right now because I'm gonna have a historic playoff run. Market Mookie's going for just like overall playoffs, Dodgers MVP this year. And I think that honestly the bullpen does look better versus this specific team. I don't know how they're going to fare for the playoffs, but I think against the Reds here, it does kind of favor the Dodgers bullpen despite their struggles.
Yeah, you and me, we're on the same page because I think it's the Dodgers in 2, and I think it's a Mookie Betts, tour de force for the next couple of days.
Love it.
I think a couple of home runs, driving in runs. I think you get some sparkling defense over at shortstop. I think it's just Mookie Betts reminding everybody who he is, and that basically that the guy we saw for the first several months of the season was an unreasonable facsimile of Mookie Betts, and the real Mookie is going to show up for the next couple of days. But I think this is a team that is ready to go. They went through the grind of the season. They understand kind of what happened, but this was always the goal. It was playing for October, late September. We are here at this point. So I think the lights come on. I think this team shows up. And I think it's a point where the bullpen pitches, but they are low stress innings, right? They come in hopefully with a multi-run lead and are asked to sort of handle it and do a fairly good job of it from there. So here we go.
Here we go.
It gets going tonight out of Dodger Stadium, 6:08 first pitch time. You can see that on the 4-letter network. Should be a whole lot of fun. Yeah.
You can actually hear the game here on 710 as well. We will be playing the game on 710 at 6:00. So if you're wanting to listen to the game, listen to it here on
there
710.
There it is. You can check it out here on ESPN 710. Stick around to the ESPN LA YouTube channel because the Sedano and Cap morning extravaganza coming up right after we are done. We appreciate you all getting up and hanging out with us in the chat as we get ready for the 2025 MLB playoffs. Should be a whole lot of fun. Back with you tomorrow to talk about it. 6:30 to 6:55, hopefully with lasers for real tomorrow after the Dodgers get a Game 1 win. But that'll do it for this edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. Thanks to LAX. For Parker Bell, for Greg Bergman, I am Marcus Grant. Go Dodgers. We'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.
Blue Review.